Welcome back, everybody. It's 9 a.m. at the moment in the UK as I record this on Sunday the 14th, which has the potential to be a historic day because it is Spain, England. Come on, England. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings for this game? As we jump into a predictions video, we're going to put two bet slips together. The first one, a more sensible bet builder, around odds of 3 to 4 we're going to look for. And then the second one, who knows, 10, 20 and above. We're going to take a look at the data in a moment, and we're going to look at some interesting stats as well around corners, fouls, tackles, shots, all that good stuff. But first, let's just take a look at the odds for the teams to lift the trophy. Spain 1.72, England over evens, and I'm sure there are many Englishmen that have put quite a considerable amount of money on that. This is the tightest top in the universe. Double chance, if you think this one will go to extra time. Draw or England, 1.53. Not a bad option if you fancy an England for this game. I think it will come down to how we manage Rodri, to be honest. How we handle Rodri. Will somebody have a job to just man-mark him? Corners here. Let me show you something regarding to corners before we take a look at these odds. So let me just move me over here for a moment, because corners on this graph, which I put on X yesterday, quite interesting. You can see at the bottom of the chart there, you've got England and Spain, and this is plotting corners for and corners against across the last 10 games, across all competitions for these teams. England really not having many corners in this competition at all. I don't think they've had more than 4 in any game. And against Netherlands, they had 0. They had no corners against Netherlands at all. Like, just think about that. Not even a ricochet, not even a shot deflected or whatever, or a keeper saving a shot. We've not had many shots, to be honest, in this tournament. The last couple of games, a bit of an exception. The numbers have improved. We'll look at shots in a moment. But Spain, right there, conceding fewer corners than England, which is saying something, because England have done very well in terms of conceding corners. I think they've conceded 9 in the whole competition, England, which is pretty decent again. So Spain doing much better than England in terms of shots, and we'll just show you shots as well. Let me just scroll up to where I posted this yesterday. Here it is. So shots on target for per game and shots on target against per game, and you can see Spain right at the right side of that chart, which means they are averaging 7 shots on target per game. England, and they've actually upped these numbers in the last couple of games, as I said, averaging just over 4 shots on target per game. And in this competition, especially in 90 minutes, we really haven't done that well in terms of shots on target. So that is something I think we'll need to improve. We're going to need a big game from Pickford by the looks of things. If things continue as normal, if Spain continue to play as they have been in recent weeks anyway. So with that corner data that we've just mentioned, could unders be the play? And if we look here and we look at under 8 corners, we are getting 2.10. Under 9 corners, 1.61. These odds have actually dropped. That was 1.72, I think, a couple of days ago, under 9 corners. Under 10 corners, 1.36. Could be something interesting to add to the bet slips as we go through this. And what I'm going to do now is take a look at some player data, and then we will jump back and look at our first sensible bet builder. So I'm going to start with fouls drawn, and we can see Bukayo Saka across the last 20 games, top of the pile. Conor Gallagher, not sure he will start. Cucurella definitely will start. I always fancy him for a foul, but this is actually fouls drawn, though, so this is the players that are winning the fouls. Jude Bellingham right up there. I think some of these players would be good for a fouls double in terms of winning a foul and having a foul committed against them as well. Harry Kane wins a lot of fouls, 29 in the last 20 games. Konsa as well, stepping into midfield from defence. Lamine Yamal, he certainly will be fouled tonight. He's playing against Trippier because I think Southgate is loyal. Loyalty is probably one of his biggest traits, and he is incredibly loyal to someone like Kieran Trippier. Luke Shaw got 45 minutes in the previous game, but I would expect Trippier to start, and I would expect Harry Kane to start, despite the moment of the tournament for me, for England. Ollie Watkins, the moment of maybe the last 5 years for England. Absolutely incredible. Watkins, 90th minute against Netherlands. That one will live long in the memory. So from fouls then to total shots and last 20 games again, we can see Harry Kane is there, Cole Palmer is there. Another one, I think Saka's going to start, and to be honest, Saka's been unbelievable one of England's best players at this tournament. Cole Palmer's right up there, though. Dani Olmo, I think if Spain win, he's in with a massive shout for player of the tournament. Him, Rodri, Ruiz as well in the middle for Spain, absolutely superb. But Dani Olmo to come into the tournament as he has, because he was on the bench at the start, wasn't he? And the performances in these most important times, the knockout games, when he came in for Pedri, he's been incredible. And you'd fancy him for a shot as well, coming off that left-hand side tonight. I say off the left, but he can pop up anywhere, can't he? Same with Nico Williams. They go roaming, don't they? And they can pop up anywhere. And hopefully that's what Foden's going to do. I felt in that Netherlands game, that was the first game Foden had been allowed to just go wherever he felt he was going to be impactful on the pitch. And I'm hoping that he can do the same, because he deserves a goal for that performance, especially in the first half against Netherlands. He was the best player on the pitch. So from shots to yellow cards, and this is across the last 20 games. Drum roll, please. Luke Shaw with 7. Let's take a look at the last 365 days, if you want to widen your search a little bit. Lenormand, centre-back for Spain. He's been pretty impressive, to be fair, but he's channeling his inner Sergio Ramos there. 23 yellow cards in the last calendar year. Biena with 17, Rodri with 15. How many of you are having Rodri for a card? Anthony Gordon tops the pile for English players, 14 yellow cards across the last 365 days. Bellingham is a good shout for me, because this is such a big game. The first half might be a bit tense, but once that second half gets going, if it's still, quite a narrow game, quite tight, which is, come on, it's England and Southgate. We are hard to beat. If there's a lot of criticism over the playing style, but we are hard to beat, just given by how many teams haven't beaten us recently. There will be fouls in that second half, and you don't want to let somebody go through. You're going to take a yellow card because it's the final. You're not in any worry of missing the next game. And Bellingham is playing in a key area, as is Kobbie Mainoo. He could be a good shout as well. Rodri, 91.34 passes per game. He is in a league of his own. Lewis Dunk, because of the way Brighton plays and the way he likes to play out from the back. Laporte is a good option. I had John Stones for the Netherlands game. They were offering 1.4, I think it was, over 65 passes. He made 82 passes, so you could have got some really, really good odds on Stones if you just up the lines a little bit. I did share that one on X as well before the game kicked off. Gahey could be an option. Let's go and take a look at what they are actually offering. So player passes, we've got 4 players for Spain. It is Laporte, Ruiz, Cucurella and Rodri. Rodri over 64, 1.16, not worth it. And actually, none of those odds stand out to me. John Stones, again, over 59 at 1.4. Now, if we look, just jump back here and look at his last 10 games for passes, we will see that John Stones, 78.5. If we go to the last 5, which will give us the Euro games, we'll see that John Stones is averaging 91.5. So he is seeing a lot of the ball for England. Now, obviously, we're playing Spain. This is the best team we have come up against by some distance, I would say. So you would expect John Stones to have a bit less of the ball. That said, 60 passes. He is still comfortably beating that, even in performances against Switzerland and Netherlands. So that's going to actually create the base of the sensible bet builder, 59.5 passes for John Stones. Because even in that first half, even if we're not winning the game, they will just look to settle the game down, England, I think. I hope I'm sort of wrong and that they do actually just go for it, as they did against Netherlands. That first half was pretty good once they conceded. But in this game, I think if England do have their way, they'll look to settle this game, and the first 20 minutes might not be that eventful. I'm also going to add most shots on target, Spain. And I know as an Englishman, that is not something I want to see. But again, England in this competition, the shots we've had, we might have 2 shots on target and we score both. That's the way it's been going recently. So Spain to have the most shots on target. I'm also tempted by Spain to have the most cards as well, because if we just jump back to the player hub, you can see here Lenormand, Biena, Rodri, Marino. Carvajal's an interesting one as well. He was suspended but expected to come back in. And he's obviously going to be up against potentially Bellingham, floated into that left-sided area. It's, down the left. If it is Trippier, he's not a threat, similar to Eze or Anthony Gordon or anything like that. But I still think he'll be up for a difficult time, Carvajal. And Cucurella could be a good option for a card as well. But if you look at this list, Bellingham I do fancy, but out of the players that we expect to actually play for Spain, I would fancy them to get a card more than the English players, and that might just be my bias, but someone like Rodri, Lenormand, Carvajal especially sticking out to me. In terms of fouls as well, just in general, as a team, Spain are averaging more fouls per game than England at the moment. Cards and shots on target, could that be the sensible bet builder? Again, you don't have to decide who the winner of the game is. You're not putting on PTTS. You're not saying that there's going to be over 2.5 goals. You're just saying that Spain are going to continue to have more shots on target than anyone else. And in terms of cards, it will be Spain. So to recap that, I just move the screen up. Stones, 60 passes or more. Most shots on target, Spain. And most cards, Spain, 5.5. And what we'll do now is put together another sensible bet builder. And then we'll put together a bit of a long shot using, player yellow cards and shots on target and all that good stuff. So here is another sensible bet builder, Dani Olmo. We looked at his shots, we spoke about him earlier in the video. What a performance he's put in every game that he's played so far. Come into the team, not easy to do mid-tournament. Menu to commit a foul. He's up against Fabian Ruiz and Rodri. Tough old game for him, but Menu was fantastic. And by the way, he can still have a fantastic game and commit a foul. I just think he's going to commit maybe a tactical foul in the game. And most corners, Spain. England had 0 corners against Netherlands. I still can't believe that. Crazy. But with Trippier's, his lack of attacking intent and Saka always cutting inside and Foden sort of cutting inside as well, being, central, a lot of it does go through the middle, doesn't it? So still surprising that we had 0 corners, but this is my second one, 4.33. Let me know what you think in the comments, and now we'll put together a bit of a crazy one. I don't know if you would consider this a crazy one. I'm sure many of you have got higher odds for, trying to predict the whole game, but you've got to try and make it reasonable at the same time. Carvajal to be booked, Foden to have a shot on target, under 10 corners. We saw the corner data at the start of this video. Bellingham to commit a foul. All very reasonable, I think. So, 9.5. Which one of those 3 slips are you most confident in? And let us know in the comments what you're on for this game. Who's going to be lifting that trophy tonight? Come on, England!